Hello there, my name is Retro like to talk about animation, and today we're talking about My Adventure of Superman. Now, this episode 8 was great, especially the cliffhanger we left on. Usually I hate cliffhangers, but I'm okay if it's between the seasons because at least I have a conclusion. But besides that, I really enjoyed the new things out of this episode. The first one, the birth of the Suicide Squad, and also Vicky Vale. If you don't know who's Vicky Vale, how to describe her? She is sort of the equal version of Lois Lane, but more gray. That she does maybe questionable things. It sort of depends of the writer what she actually need her. I think even used her in the Arkham game. They used it a little bit on the Arrowverse. She's been everywhere because once more she's not really connected or Pacific superhero. She just exists in a DC universe. She's sort of a rival of Lois Lane, but this version she is sort of the senpai of Lois Lane, the one who Lois Lane wants to be, and that is sort of fun to see how Lois sort of reacts because the chief asked her to come in the office to help convince Vicky to stay here because she's actually locally a Gotham reporter. So it kind of dragged her, giving more kind of influence in her own paper. And that is sort of interesting, especially because Vicky Vale is sort of a type of character who tries anything she can to get her scoop. Specifically taking down Superman and sort of getting all the bad dirt she can just to make Superman look bad and look her as good because she is selling more newspapers. But a little bit sort of interesting is sort of Lois Lane. She is a factually of Vicky because she is sort of her hero, but a little bit sort of against her belief, trashing Superman. But a little bit Vicky give a sort of opinion that sometimes you have to sometimes you have to sort of try someone to get to sell the newspaper. Sometimes it's not the right thing, but you need to have the sales. And that's sort of interesting because Lois Lane is not that. She is the truth. And that is sort of interesting because she's sort of not sure what to do with Jimmy. Like, should we help her? Should we not help her? But at the same time, that's sort of her job to convince her to stay in Metropolis, to actually make her stay in the company to sell more newspapers and give it her prestige. And that sort of kind of mixed her up a little because she doesn't know what to do, how to pitch it. But I love it even more is sort of Superman. Like he's sort of kind of panicking, freaking out because he sort of have a new ability activated of the super hearing that he sort of tries to help a lot of people, but he's sort of overwhelmed. The point is just sort of hilarious, but sort of sad because you do not want to see Superman overtired, even that he has a special ability to not be tired. But this version he's not yet activated, so I guess that's fine for right now. But besides that, I do enjoy he tries all he can to help other people. Even to this point, he sort of was accidentally kind of make trouble in the city, trying to hunt down the Invisible Man, who actually trying to steal stuff connected to Fat Force X. But during this time, he sort of saved this Divisible Man for a running truck. He stopped, but because he's invisible, no one saw him. Everybody thinks Superman sort of loses his mind and doing crazy shit. That itself kind of hurts Superman because he just want to help people, and they using the word "go home where you belong," freak, and that sort of hurts him. Especially how Lois Lane trying to explain that he had to be kind of leg down for a little bit, just chill for at least a day or two to Vicky sort of fix Vicky's sort of situation. But Superman be Superman, he can't. Especially he knows the general is close. He making his move, so he had to find him before he does. But I kind of like the conversation he has with Lois Lane. That she says the the specific word that Superman kind of is sort of unhappy being normal. That he is not normal. Just leave it alone, and that sort of hurts him, especially other people believe he's sort of a monster by accident. You feel that sort of emotion just being out of him. He just doesn't know what to do. But the only thing he knows, he had to stop the Visible Man and also stop the General. But luckily for him, he did find the Visible Man, but sort of kind of convinced him, I you could take me in prison if you want, if you help me basically save his sister and his crew. But Superman did believe him, they trust him. He went to the location. He got screwed over by the Visible Man because he was set up to be captured by the Suicide Squad or Task Force X. Depends how you feel. This team, you think it's more Task Force X or Suicide Squad? To me, it's more Suicide Squad because they use criminals. Task Force X is more military trained officers doing questionable things. But once more, that's probably the huge difference of both of them. But they also depends of the writer. Usually use text for X because they can use Suicide Squad. For right now, I prefer Suicide Squad. But besides that, let's continue. And that's sort of interesting how the fight sort of went. Like everybody took a chance to take down Superman, and Superman took it like a champ. He took each one of them on their own terms, except for Parasite or Doctor Evil, that he had him on the ropes because he has the Parasite suit and drained them. But I love this moment where the general says stop. Ivo didn't listen, and you have to listen to the general because he has your collar button, and he keep pressing it to actually make sure that Ivo lets go to Superman. Well, Amanda Waller, but you get the idea. But I love it that how creepy and sort of dedicated the general really is. Like he is so believing he is the hero of his own story, believing Superman he's truly evil. Even that he sort of hints that the reason why he thinks this sort of the event of all the Kryptonians coming into Earth, taking down Earth people, but we don't see the full picture. But you see his sort of fear that actually could happen. That he's not understanding. Superman is basically the last of his kind. Well, not really. He still have some Kryptonians in the comics, but not a lot of them. There's sort of a handful. Well, depends who writes the comic, but you get the idea. But besides that, I love that sort of interesting that he doesn't want to kill him. He want to interrogate him and keep the locked up for more experimental things. I mean, he can easily off him, but he chooses not to. That sort of shows how much the general has restraint of himself. Like he knows he can push it, but he chooses not to. He has him in the balls, he has him in the ground, ship him right now. Yep, well, that's sort of kind of respectful, but also kind of creepy because you know he's sort of unhinged. But all of that, I feel that was sort of interesting. Everything else was very enjoyable. I mean, it was sort of fun to see Superman kind of playing with his new abilities, how paranoid he was. It was hilarious, interesting, especially with Jimmy. Like he was sort of hyped up about his describer account going up to 7 to 1 billion because Superman just I can't say the word, but overdoing it, his abilities saving other people. And I just enjoyed how they used Jimmy's kind of fling birds of fan base to find Superman. And what's more, that feels real. Like that could be a possibility in real life. I love that actually that'd be really useful. And once again, it shows how Jimmy is useful in Superman sort of lore. I mean, this is why I enjoy Superman. Each of his own members or his crew can help Superman one ship or form that you really don't realize, especially depends on the writer, because if you read any Superman comics, sometimes they just don't know what to do with Jimmy or don't know what to do with Lois. And this version, they understand that. They understand they both very important. Every moment with them can actually help Superman. Yeah, I'm glad they use them, Lois and Superman, the right way. And also, I'm kind of excited to see what happens next because let's face it, I want to see if the general and Lois is actually father and daughter. I mean, it's sort of hinted in the comics. Lois' father is sort of a military man, always butting heads with his own father. So if this stays to like the original, yes, could be his father. But all of that, I really can't think much. I mean, anything else? Tell me down below. How you feel about this? Do you like the new Suicide Squad? You think they deserve the name or not. Tell me down below. You like anything or dislike? You like Vicky? Tell me down below. Let me know. I got nothing else to say. Just thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and have a wonderful day. Bye.